Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is finally the day that we get our garden planted, or hopefully most of our garden planted. We are running behind this year. It's almost June, and our last frost date in zone 4 where we live is usually around May 20th or so. So we're a couple weeks behind, but it's okay. We have some starts here kind of spread out throughout the garden, and we're gonna get our garden in. Yay! It's the best time of the year, right? It is, but it's also the most busy time, and we are kind of on a time crunch because one, we want to get this in so we don't waste any more of the summer, any more of the heat that we have, and we're also expecting our second baby in about a month or so. So we got to make sure that the garden is good to go and can kind of run on minimal effort during that period. So the focus today, we're going to get the starts. I'm going to go through all that we're growing as we get going, but a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, potatoes, squash. We're going to try and put a big focus on squash this year, which is actually not part of this garden. It's over here, I'll show you. And yeah, we're going to get going, but let me know if you're running behind like us this year. Comment below. Without further ado, let's go get these beds prepped and ready to get some vegetables in the ground. So here's what we're working with. We have our beds. In this garden here we have 10 beds, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah, math, 10 beds. And the plan is we are going to use this border here. We're gonna kind of do a little amending. If we were to do the proper amending with all these beds, we just don't have the time to do that, unfortunately. So we are going to do a little bit of amending, put a little bit of our compost in here, pick some of these weeds, this is a crazy weed, and get the things planted. One thing that Sarah and I are coming to terms with is this probably won't be our most prolific or abundant harvest and garden this year, just with the time constraints that we're under. And some of our starts actually, I don't know if it was the potting soil we used, if it just didn't have enough nutrients or whatever, but our starts are not nearly as far along as they usually are, you know, just height and even like health-wise. So some of them were like, ooh, I'm not sure if they're gonna make it, but we'll see here. This is all part of the journey. This is all, you know, if you are new to gardening, this will be our 4th summer here, 4th growing season here, and we learn something new every year. Every year has looked different. So if you're new to gardening, new to homesteading, that's just part of the journey. Is something that we've learned is you do what you can and you learn, and hopefully, you know, try and do it better in the following years. So let's get some things planted, let's get these beds amended, and then we will reconvene and we'll talk through what we're growing. All right, so we got our first box done here. It is 8 tomato plants. 7 of the 8 are Amish paste tomatoes, and then we have 1 Roma tomato. Previous years we did mostly Roma and San Marzano, but last year actually we did Amish paste for the first time, and that was by far the best sauce tomato that we've grown. Roma and San Marzano did just okay over the previous years, but last year this Amish paste, for whatever reason, was super prolific. They're really good, super bulky, I guess you could say, without a ton of seeds in them, so they're perfect for sauce. And yeah, we really like them. So we're gonna do mostly Amish paste this year. We got 1 Roma that we got from the store, and we'll see how that one does. But 3 out of our 4 tomato boxes are just Amish paste, and then we're gonna do a rosella, which is a small little cherry tomato. So I'm gonna get those growing. See what I did there? I meant to say going, but I said growing. I'm gonna get those going, and then we will pick back up and I'll show you what else we are growing. Gosh, English is a fun language. All right, so we got the tomatoes in the ground. We are growing, let me do some quick math. 8, 16, 24, 32, 34 tomato plants, mostly Amish paste, 1 Roma, and then we have 2 Rosella, which are like little cherry style tomatoes. So a lot of Amish paste, a lot of sauce tomatoes. And like I said, we're gonna see how these do. Some of the starts were looking iffy. But it's the name of the game, you know? Not everything's gonna be perfect, but we're hoping we get a decent abundance, decent amount this year for sure. Now I'm gonna move over to our peppers. We are growing 2 kinds of peppers this year: canary bell peppers, and then blot peppers, which are another kind of bell. They look like bell peppers. And we've had a history with bell peppers for sure. In previous years, not counting last year, but previous years, we had a horrible time with them. They just like never grew. If we got a couple like decent sized one in a growing season, like that was a success. Last year, it was our best year for sure. And we maybe got like 30 or so peppers, which is not a ton by any means, but for us, it was a good amount. So we're hoping that we can at least replicate that this year and get even more, because we like to have bell peppers with, you know, like burrito bowls, stuff like that. So it's a good vegetable to have for sure. So we're gonna plant them. We plant them pretty thick, and we'll see how this goes. All right, peppers are done, and we are moving on to our green beans. We are growing Kalima, I believe that's how you say it, green beans. These ones are a little bit different than some of the other ones because these are direct sow. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to dig a little ditch, and then we will plant them about every 4 inches or so apart. We grew these Kalima green beans last year, and they did phenomenal, and then they canned well as well. And so we're growing these again. But yeah, green beans are something, you know, they're just super flexible and easy to throw with pretty much any meal. So if you're not growing green beans, they're easy. You throw them in the ground, water them, and they're good to go. All right, well, we got inside done here. So we got tomatoes, peppers, what else? Green beans, cucumbers, basil, kale. Yeah, that's kind of some basic stuff, but, oh, butter crunch lettuce too. Actually, let me show you that, because this one looks good. Butter crunch lettuce actually looks good, because we planted that a few weeks ago. So we're gonna head over, you can see behind me, maybe, that's our blueberry and squash patch. If you watched the last video, you saw that we planted blueberries this year. And it was a long time coming, and it took a long time to get the soil right and everything, so hopefully they stick. But one half of the patch is gonna be blueberries, the other half we're gonna do squash this year. So we are planting spaghetti squash, butternut, delicata, maybe some other ones, but we're throwing a bunch in the ground. We're gonna see what sticks. We would love a ton of squash because obviously that's a very hardy and just, you get a lot. Bang for your buck, I guess. So we're gonna head over to the squash patch. We're gonna see what Sarah's doing, and we're gonna try and get all the squash in the ground. You see the worm? Alright, so the squash patch is in, and yeah, it should hopefully turn out pretty well, right? Hundreds of pounds of squash, that's what they tell me. So we still have our, let's see, we still have potatoes and onions to go and carrots. We're probably going to do that tomorrow though, because it's getting kind of dark, kind of. We still need to have dinner and everything. So we'll pick it up tomorrow with the rest of the gardening. But yeah, today was great. We got our main garden done, and now it's just kind of the little supplements gardens that we have. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back the next day, and I actually went ahead and already planted some of the onions. I'll show you what that process looked like here. But it was pretty easy. All I had to do was just kind of dig a little hole in, and we have 2 beds of onions, so probably, ooh, I would say, I don't know, around 100 or so at least starts that are in there. We're doing a little experiment. We are doing starts that we bought from a greenhouse just down the road from us, and then we're doing some of our own starts. And the one that we bought from the greenhouse, as you can see, they are way more developed and further along than the starts that we did ourselves. So I'm sure they'll do much better than our own, but that's okay. And I'm excited to get a very, very large onion yield this year because we eat a ton of onions. So with the onions that we planted, we're gonna see how they do. We got our potatoes here. We got some white ones and some red ones, and the plan for these is I'm just going to cut these in half or maybe in quarters, and you'll see here these little eyes. If you have grown potatoes before, you'll know that these are what the potato uses to grow new potatoes. But if you've never grown potatoes before, these little eyes will grow like this, little chains, and then you'll get little potatoes that form on here. And then at the end of the year, you'll pull up, it's almost like a giant root system of potatoes, and they'll all be attached. And if they grow well, they'll be nice and big and tasty. So they're super easy to grow, which is great though. You just cut these ones with the eyes in half, and then you can just plant them in the dirt, and then you'll want to kind of pile them up. So the one thing with the potatoes is you want to make sure that the potato is never exposed to the sun, because then it starts to get green, and you don't want to eat green potatoes. I forget the compound in them. There's some compound in them that makes it like a mild toxin, I think, to humans. So what you do if you find a potato that's exposed to the sun, you just cover it back up with compost or dirt or straw or whatever material you're using, and should be good to go. But we are very late to planting potatoes, so these are going to be, we're probably going to have to, at the end of the season, keep an eye on the last frost date, and before we get our first frost date, before we get our first frost of the year, so probably like late September, maybe early October, we'll have to harvest it then and just give them, you know, as many months as we can to grow, because these could have gone in the ground in like March, and we're already into June now, so a little late. But hey, we're gonna try it this year, and if we get little baby potatoes, it's all good. So let's cut these up and we'll get them planted.